We are the Wormhole Extremists, and we are back with Double Jeopardy for X-21, Stargate SG1. My name is David. I'm with Nicole.
Hello, hello.
And Evie.
Hello.
And welcome to the planet Juna.
Yes. So this is the first and last episode directed by Michael Shanks, I believe.
Yep.
And I was going to say straight off the bat as well that there are a few telltale signs that this isn't the real SG1 coming through the
Jack's hair's
gate.
brown.
So yeah, first off, they're packing MP5s, but the actual team has upgraded to P90s.
Correct.
Then there's Daniel, who's mysteriously ditched his glasses. Carter gets thrown off when Darian, in a second, addresses her as Major. Plus, both Daniel and Carter are sporting longer hair than the genuine members at the time. And another red flag is there's no MALP that's sent through for like a safety check.
Mm-hmm.
And also Tilk, he's without his signature staff whipping.
Oh, fair point.
I'm not gonna lie, they've actually done a really
Yeah.
good job of making them look younger because, like, their hair is all very convincing right now.
When Daniel leaned
Exactly.
against the DHD, he rocked it
It
sideways.
moved.
I saw it,
didn't
Yeah,
notice that
it did
before.
move.
I remember when I watched this episode for the first time, obviously because I missed out on season 2 and 3, I thought that, like, I had, like, massively missed out on some episodes of Stargate.
Yes.
But then I realized, nah, it's just one of those, like, off-screen situations.
So this very tall gentleman with the amazingly deep voice, so that is John DeSantis, I believe, who plays Jafar number 1. He doesn't have a name. So this is actually his sole appearance in Stargate, but he actually went on to portray Cronus in 5 episodes of the series Olympus.
Wow.
And the other cool
Interesting.
connection is that he was actually directed by Stargate veterans Martin Wood for 2 episodes and Andy Makita for 1 episode. And
Love it.
also Amanda Tapping directed 4 episodes of that series.
Wow.
So that's kind of cool.
Okay.
We'll cross it
and
over.
I was
Did you
gonna
notice that was
mention
one
as
of the
well-
rare episodes that fade out on Daniel rather than Jack at the beginning?
Yeah,
Did you notice
I was
that?
wondering
Noticed
that.
that.
Yeah.
I never noticed that.
Jack
but
is
that's
always
totally right.
Richard Dean Anderson is always, you know, his title.
He has the last
is,
say
right,
before.
Right, exactly, because he's the leader. So
Yeah,
it's interesting that they closed on
exactly.
Daniel first.
I forgot to mention as well, this is sort of going back a little bit, but there was a gentleman that we saw. He was the first to pop up with a crossbow in the bushes.
Yeah.
That was a guy called Michael Johnson, and it's his second Stargate appearance. He was actually Apophis' Jafar in the Serpent's Lair, and he shows up again in
yes.
Evolution Part 1 as Ramus's Jafar guard, and in Avalon Part 1 as an F-302 pilot called Redmond.
Okay.
Damn.
Yes, yeah, with Mitchell. So
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
sure.
He's one of Mitchell's flyboys.
yeah.
Love it.
Well, that explains
So
why it
as
didn't
we-
close on Jack, because Jack was knocked out.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it makes sense that Daniel has a little bit more of the dialogue at the beginning, since Daniel is about to be knocked off, shall we say. So
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think what Michael
Get
Shanks
all
wanted to
these
give
lines
himself
out.
a little bit of screen time before he gets killed.
well,
he
he's
can direct
been
the rest.
missing already for an episode or 2 this season. So yeah, we
Yeah.
haven't really seen him a
Yes.
lot.
Yeah. So
Major card, she doesn't realize she's Major.
they commented
Yep.
that so Cronus showing up on Juna kind of throws a curveball at the SGC because they often told a number of planets to bury their Stargate
Yep.
just to stop the Goa'uld from coming. Like there was Korai, there was Demons, a few others.
Yep.
So now with Cronus landing on Juna, it's clear that this strategy might not really be as effective as they thought.
Yeah.
That said, I think advising planets to bury their Stargate was more of like a quick fix.
Yeah, because
So
they can
the
come in
SGC
spaceship like this time.
Exactly. But like the SGC was aware that many of the system lords had ships capable of reaching these other worlds, but they probably figured that the big heavy hitters wouldn't bother the smaller, less significant planets because it wasn't worth like their time and resources.
Mm.
So this is Cronus's first prime. So Cinder is played by Bill Croft, and he actually returns as an unnamed repo man in Citizen Joe.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow. Okay. Teal'c with that clenched jaw.
you can always
Yes.
tell when he's clenching it. I
He's
really
so
like
good
that.
at it.
Yeah.
I don't clench my jaw, but I like do that thing where one of my eyes like angrily, flutters open and shut when I'm irritated.
Yeah. So, in terms of like timelines, so although it's not shown or referenced in any episode, Darian before identifies Sam as Major Carter.
Yep.
So that sort of suggests that the unsuccessful liberation of this planet took place sometime after Fair Game.
Yep.
Which was about 2 years ago. So, if anyone was curious about the timeline.
Lockwatcher just put in the opening scene, the gate was in the same location as Prodigy, but redressed for the episode. That makes sense. It's very helpful.
There you go.
Don't have to move it around.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I love this scene.
Yeah, so do I.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, this wife is the real MVP.
The SGC
I'm
could have
just
dropped
waiting.
off what you call Iris to these planets.
Yeah.
So that's a Harlan reference. I mean, yeah, but it doesn't keep them from coming in ships.
No, well, I feel like it protects them for now, but then I feel like no matter what, whenever the Gould arrive on a planet, they always reopen the gate because they want it for ease of transport and stuff, and so that's when they find out. So I guess they should do like regular check-ins to make sure the gates are still buried. Oh, she's gonna make the major comment now, isn't she? Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
This looks like a lot like the prison set from the Serpent's Venom.
Oh,
I wouldn't be surprised if
it
it's
could
the
have
same
been.
one.
Yeah. I know that they also use, I think they use, what was I going to say? I think they might use something from Absolute Power. I'm just going here. So apparently during the audio commentary of this episode, they shared that the set used for the interrogation of Android Carter and Android Tilk is actually the same one from Absolute Power.
Oh.
And
Look at them reusing sets.
Apparently it's from the moment when Jack confronts Daniel right before Daniel, attacks Monster.
Yeah, I assumed.
So it's from the Vegas, the Vegas style set.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have a question just for the shippers in the world.
Duh.
Right? Do you think that because Android, Sam, and Jack are like not following the same levels of command structure as they were before, do you think that they were getting it on?
I don't think so, because I think they are so like the command structure would be so ingrained at this point. I don't think they would have gone there.
Yeah, no, they're pretty.
Even though they are androids.
Yeah, they're pretty neutral with one another in this episode. But then again, they're on a mission, so they don't really have time for any other kind of business. So
yeah, I like to think in my head that they did.
So it looks like didn't they just say that they buried the Stargate?
Yeah, but then they unburied it because of Cronus.
Yeah,
this was always my concern. You can bury your Stargate, but eventually they're going to come. And in this episode, we see it. So,
if they really want to come to your planet, they have the means. So
you have to be checking in with these people constantly. You can't just leave them to their fate. It's up in their world and their the regime that runs them, and assume that everything's going to be fine. These Gould are playing around in space, and when these planets fall under new territories, they come and they raid them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Jack just said it was the right thing to do no matter how it turned out. And this sort of echoes Daniel's line to Jack in the previous episode, an Entity, when they're discussing how Sam was trying to communicate with the Entity. Do you remember that conversation that they had?
Yeah.
And Daniel said, like, basically, no matter what happens, it was the right thing for Sam to try to communicate with the Entity. I just thought that was interesting. We also kind of missed, I thought it was sort of a bit of a missed opportunity when Android Jack was like taking a little sip from that cup. He didn't mimic like OG Jack's quirky habit of fishing like invisible
the thing out.
food out of his cup.
But he was definitely suspect of whatever was in it. So
he was a little bit, yeah. Also, I kind of had a question about Jack's hair. So we don't see his darker locks again until Mobius, I think.
Yep.
So what I'm curious is, how did they pull off the filming? Like, did they have RDA like shoot his scenes as OG Jack first and then dye his hair for Android Jack? Or like, surely they didn't use a stunt double for like all of the Android Jack scenes.
Here's what I'm wondering, actually, based on what we're about to see in a minute, which is that I noticed during several moments in the scene where they're going to wrestle in a minute, that Richard Dean Anderson seems to have some like leftover paint on his neck from when he was playing Android Jack.
Yes.
So I think that they did Android Jack first, and then they put a cap
maybe.
on Anderson's like standard Jack.
Yeah.
And did it in that order because that paint on that guy's hand that Jack uses to cover his face and everything.
Yeah.
You see it on the neck, and I was like, no way in hell during the wrestling did they like transfer
that? Yeah, that's a fair point.
So Jack just covered that exposed hand with leaves, and I was going to say, well, that leaves Cronus with one less helping hand.
Oh, Evie. Oh, Evie. That was good though.
I know.
I'm so proud of you.
Funny.
I can't wait for you to like bring
Jack in the group, so
a notebook to like wherever we go to do more Stargate stuff in the future, convention stuff, and bring a little notebook ready
with my pre-prepared like statements.
Yeah, you'll find a way.
Pre-prepared material. Yeah,
you'll find a way.
It's like Asgard. You guys met the Asgard?
Yeah, so what Cronus says is like entirely true. So the treaty's safeguarding doesn't cover humans when they're off-world. So that means the Goa'uld are completely within their rights, according to the Protected Planets Treaty, to capture them. So there's definitely kind of a loophole in the agreement.
It's a loophole that they like, yeah. I remember when I first watched this. Sorry, go, David.
Cronus made this clear at the end of.
He did.
Yeah. So
exactly.
I was actually, I remember when I first watched this and I was like, I was trying to figure out what was going on because I hadn't figured out that it was Android them yet. Even with Jack's comment, I think I was like so young when I saw this that I was so shocked when Daniel got his head blown off.
Yeah.
But I was like, I was like, what's happened? Because I'm so used to Stargate trying to throw me for a loop.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I couldn't figure out what the throw was, and then I was like, oh, dum. The hair's long. The androids. Which I love. I love Tin Man. That's a good time.
Looks like heads are gonna roll.
Michael Shanks is about to return to directing the episode.
Exactly.
Brett, stop looking at Jack so much. Like, it's going to be too obvious.
Well, he's
right, exactly.
Yeah, he's kind of trying to communicate what his plan is. Although they can apparently communicate not telepathically,
Correct.
but you know what I mean.
So they say, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Ban Daniel, Gecko Fett said, yeah. I miss Daniel's long hair. It was so pretty. He was so cute.
But his shorter hair is like him coming into the character on his own.
I know.
Like,
Yeah,
rather than
exactly.
taking up.
But his season
James
10
Spader,
glasses,
so-
big no-no.
So Cronus, if Cronus was watching, he would have completely got that.
Yeah.
That wasn't subtle enough.
No, so somebody on Reddit commented that Android Jack's nod to Android Daniel was a sign, obviously, of understanding. So he knew that exposing Android Daniel's true nature would unleash chaos and disbelief among Cronus's followers. And Android Daniel chose to sacrifice himself to break this sort of facade. So after all, even as an android, Daniel sort of remains true to himself.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Michael Shanks mentioned in an interview that I saw, or read, should I say, that piecing together this particular scene was quite a task.
Yeah, it's his head.
Seems it was a last-minute addition to the script, and it was intended to be shot in a single day, but ended up stretching into 2 days.
Wow.
And there was like 25 people in the frame, and they needed to ensure like proper coverage for everybody.
Yep.
Plus, he also pointed out that there was a bit of a challenge with the somewhat graphic subject matter, which they had to address carefully to avoid being overly explicit.
In terms of
they did a great job.
of the beheading.
Yes.
Yeah.
Terms of the beheading.
Well, I love that tight shot because that's his actual head, and they just,
Yeah, Lockwell just said that Michael Shanks literally went on the floor, did that. They CGI'd his body out.
Yep.
And then
I think they did a good job considering.
RDA apparently rolled the fake head along the
Oh,
floor.
of course. He was going to have fun
Of course
with
he
that.
did. He played soccer with it, yeah. Who wouldn't?
It says come try ya. Please don't open it.
I also really liked when, like, obviously in that scene a second ago, the way that Teal'c and Sam were like responding to Daniel dying. They were pretty pissed, you know?
Yeah, of
for
course.
Sure.
Like they just lost their. I know that Daniel's still alive, but like not in
That
their sense.
they're not connected with
Their
them at all
version.
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the way it came through the gate. He's so good.
First time going through.
I love his little whales. They're so cute.
Honestly, brilliant actor.
I wish this character came back so much more.
Me
often.
too. I
Well,
love
kind of does.
So
Not
glad
the
he
character,
did.
but the actor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so glad he came back to do more
At
Tin
least
Man.
for-
I'm so glad
Yes.
he wrapped it up.
His energy. I just love him.
I really love that coat as well.
Well, Christopher Judge
yes.
looks like he's trying not to laugh,
Yeah.
but
I'm
everyone else
sure.
is pretty serious.
Well, Jay is just a cut up. He's comedy
Yeah.
is just. I want to have him back on this season. So,
Yes.
Just trying to find the right topic.
So I love how he shrinks into his collar.
Yeah.
Like it really gives him that sort of like startled turtle vibe.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Ron Halder. Why would
Well,
you
you're
be
asking
saying
what we
that
are?
in front
you're a god.
of your Jaffa?
Your
Yeah.
followers,
You'd be
yeah,
saying that
exactly.
in private.
You
If
would
you're
be.
a god, you are all-knowing, aren't you?
Yeah.
They really should have like scrubbed that from like their belief system in order to help cover themselves when they screw up.
So Amanda Tapping's wig is not great. You can see it's not her hair, just the way the light's reflecting off it.
It's not terrible in the way that it looks. It's the color that's really wrong.
It's the color and like the
Yeah.
texture, but
yeah.
it's probably
as
ironically
close
one
as I
of
think
her
they would
better
get.
wigs. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not in this nearly enough.
Yeah. He really isn't.
Well, I mean, it's almost halfway through the episode.
Yeah.
God, yeah, it is. I love this. I like that he's like, they couldn't help themselves from being you.
They are you.
Yeah. Oh, Hubbled. I love when he talks about him.
Of course she wants to.
You can show her later. He put his...
I love that though. It's so cute. I'm glad they were able to like fix the Teal'c version and separate the Gould and Teal'c in the android body.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened to Harlan after this, because he says he's grown accustomed, he can't live without them. But in
I felt really bad.
901,
Yes.
when they're briefing Ben Browder, when he's selecting members for SG1, they mention a body recovered from Harlan's planet. I wonder if it was Harlan himself who eventually died.
I really hope it's
Maybe.
not. Why would you say that, David?
Because it's
I didn't even
quite
put
a
that
possibility,
together.
unless they ran across
Well, it
another
is.
body on Harlan's planet.
I want Harlan to live forever. He deserves it.
I know, but he can't keep the whole facility up and running by himself with that weird
Move somewhere
Yeah.
else with a better
glue
power
that he's been
pack.
painting on. Yeah.
Well, I was going to bring that up later. Like, without the original and Android SG1 members as templates, like, would
Yeah.
Harlan have enough data to recreate the replicas?
Yeah,
Because he
it's
did
not
say that he
established
couldn't
if-
go without them,
yeah,
so they
if
don't
he-
say that, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a. Yeah, it doesn't suggest that. Oh, yeah, I can just make more. You know, it seems like he needs the templates.
Yeah. Oh, poor Harlan. I hope they help him out and he doesn't go to the next people. Ugh.
So I forgot to mention before that Darian is played by Matthew Harrison, and this is his first of 2 Stargate episodes, and he actually returns as an unnamed scientist in the SGA episode Conversion.
Ah.
Okay, well, I just want to say that this guy is an absolute cutie and I love him and his wife. She is also a cutie. Honestly, this is a couple that I just want to keep seeing, like the occasional visits.
That's the question
They're a
you
great
should be
couple.
asking.
Yeah.
They're you.
That's Harlan's argument. Not me. They're not.
I love how they say Daniel was on a mission. Like, a mission to direct this episode.
That's
I
it.
love that Harlan's like, oh, because Daniel's
Yeah.
the one that would listen and he's not there and he's like, my only
Right,
friend.
exactly.
The voice of reason isn't there.
When you subtract the different voices, you get a different conversation. You really do.
Yeah. if Daniel was there, he'd be fighting really hard for it. This is great.
Lockwatcher says the gal who played what's his face's wife, Michelle Harrison, also made appearances on you mean SGA and SGU as well as because he says Stargate SG1. So
Michelle Harrison, Matthew Harrison's wife, has also made appearances. Yeah.
Oh, Matthew Harrison's wife. I see. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Oh.
I feel so bad for Harlan. This is big sad.
Big sad.
Ugh.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh, he's so
That
cute.
giggle.
In the face of something so terrible, he's like, oh no, he's like trying to be so positive. I love him so much.
Well, maybe it's more like he's excited about the prospect of leaving his planet to go to another
I feel like he's
planet?
trying to
I don't
find
know.
some goodness in the terrible.
That monitor is not a
there's a
touchscreen.
goof.
No, it really
No,
bothers
it's
me every
not.
time they do this. 'Cause
Yep.
They did it in a
And-
window of opportunity. Ugh.
There's there's a little goof here for the eagle-eyed viewers. So the computer screen actually shows the planet's designation as P2X729, not P3X729.
Ah.
Oh dear.
And she literally says it like a second later, and on the screen, it's definitely a 2.
Lockhart
Dialogue
said maybe
technically
Harlan
wins.
traveled to Ergo's planet. I would love for Harlan to go to Ergo's planet. They could be besties.
Yeah.
Togar and Harlan together.
Yeah. I would watch the episode.
I would watch the episode.
Both characters with a lot of energy
Yeah.
that either like really get along or that like completely clash.
Yeah. But then maybe in that way they like complete each other and become like, the best duo possible.
This is one of my issues with continuity. So,
I just saw the point of origin.
right. So it's
Yeah.
the other Stargate is beginning to lock chevrons before it's dialed. So
Yeah.
as they narrow down the glyphs, do all of the corresponding gates that have that address light up, and then
That's a
all
good
but one.
point.
That's
just
what
shut
I've
off?
always wondered, and it's something that I try not to think about.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I've never thought of it like that.
Knocking
but
on a lot
yeah,
of doors
exactly.
simultaneously.
Yes,
Yeah.
So you
exactly.
narrow it down to the one.
The only episode where like I have no gripe with the gate system is when all the gates are being dialed at once
Yeah.
in season 8. It's like, oh yes,
Yes.
all of them dialed. They're all doing the right thing.
I can't unsee this. This is absolutely the same location as the moon planet from Prodigy.
Yeah. You can blame Lockwatcher for his fun facts for that one.
For sure.
Oh, this is gonna be great. I'm not gonna lie, SG1 arguing with SG1 is just such a good time.
You would feel disembodied here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you've seen him before, bro. Yeah. Like they're not in chain command.
not under
anymore,
his
still
command,
calls him
yeah.
George.
No, he's not.
Uh-oh.
Alan?
No.
Yep.
Ooh. So rude. Love it. This is great. I love this guy. This guy just turned on the Gould so fast.
Darian,
What
yeah.
a, what a
He
bro.
really did, yeah.
I trust you
I think
any
he was
day,
sort
honey.
of he was sort of hesitating anyway, like before
Yeah.
the whole Daniel robotic head roll. Even
He's
like
such a
getting
good
told
guy.
by his so-called god to kill someone, even
Yeah.
if they were just an android, I think his mind was already starting to like churn.
My favorite thing is the way that when Android Jack was talking to him, the way that he just still listened and argued and they just talked about it casually. It was just really nice.
Yeah. I love how he's putting himself in his own in his place.
Yeah. Oh.
Like they're like his children.
Literally, it's so sad.
We need
Quite the
backup.
army. Yeah, that's quite the
Help
army.
us.
Army of 2.
To be fair, they weren't. I don't know when they were planning on checking up on this planet, but You know, that they could have been really far gone with all this drama if it wasn't for Android Team. So
Mm-hmm.
I would have really loved for it to cut back to the SGC and Harlan's just like absolutely irritating the hell out of them.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Like just poking around his office, playing with the stuff.
Yeah, he would have just been like, "Get out of my office," you know, like he does with I think it's Jack and Window of Opportunity, where he kicks that hole in his wall, and he's like sort of half smiling and then half serious, and just like, "Just get the hell out of my office." He would have been like that with
And I just want to say, this woman to me was just such like a like you just coming in here with your whole like I don't want to say the word because it's I think it's inappropriate, but she has a whole vibe beginning with the word D and ends in an X, and I'm totally living for
I didn't even consider that. Thank you very much.
Just the outfit is just so.
Right. Do you have any info on her, Evie?
I know that it's her only episode. I don't think she comes back in another role.
So that bridge set is the first time we see that set for the next 3 episodes, including this one.
Oh, well, let's see if we spot paint on RDA on OG Jack.
Okay.
So I think I see it on the other side of his neck.
Bill Nikolai played the other Jack in the the digital face replacement. So when they both lift up, Bill is actually, I believe, the one in the darker clothing. So
okay, yes, I think I saw a behind the scenes image from that. So Android Jack, he just responded in reference to the opening narration of The $6 Million Man. So Stronger, Better, Faster, which was a show about a former astronaut with bionic implants.
Yep.
Also, I didn't realize that like one of the stars of The $6 Million Man was Richard Anderson as Steve Austin's boss. So I'm assuming that RDA maybe had to tack on the Dean to stand out from Richard Anderson because he would have already been in the industry.
Yeah.
It's speculation, but I'm assuming.
So I think the paint is on like the back of his neck or something. I'm trying to see where it is. I think I remember seeing something somewhere in a second. They're so cute. They're adorable.
The lighting on...
It's slightly different, isn't it?
Yeah, it is slightly different.
And also the whole area is desaturated. So one of
these
is
really see. Yeah.
But it's pretty decent for the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do this, and they do it in this episode, and I believe they did it in the Forever in a Daydream sequences with the pink planet.
Oh yes,
I love that it's just covered in straw.
God.
Love how he's trying to show himself up.
Is it his ear? I'm trying to figure out which part is it because I remember seeing it. I'm trying to catch it. It's so subtle.
I so own you.
I love when he was like, "This is the first time you lied to yourself." I feel like that when he's maybe decided to go on a diet, and then he just hasn't gone on the diet or something. Like that's like
It's also the engineering set in in Enemies.
I'm just realizing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this woman is a total like I feel like I've met this woman in Baldur's Gate.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I had a really weird 5-minute crush on her growing up where I was like, damn girl.
Yeah.
You so fine.
I love the outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
got very striking features.
Oh yeah.
She really does.
Absolutely.
She's got a very strong jaw.
She's actually got really, really big eyes.
Bad.
Yeah.
So they enjoy.
No, they don't.
They pick hosts that. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Weakness.
She's got good cheekbones too.
She's dictating to some kind of recorder.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's speaking like... She's like narrating.
She falls for this pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like she dumb.
Although, like, Android Sam does hold out for quite a while.
Yeah.
So, of course, she fell for it because, she thought that all of that torture had, like, led to that moment when, in fact, it was just her being strategic.
You're going to get all gooey in the process, in your own goos. It is convenient how quickly all the rest of SG1 fall.
Yeah, they fall really fast.
I was going to say later on that I'm not sure whether they succumbed to their injuries or if it was just their power running out.
It was a combo, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For RDA, for Jack in particular.
Yeah.
Well, it could have been for all of them because assumably they were all running on the same like battery charge.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they can't be brought back to life after they're gone. So they couldn't have returned
they
the
can't
body.
be reanimated.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe Jack, the Jack robot is the body they're referring to. So can they actually communicate internally here?
I fully believe it because, like, the way that they're doing things.
I kind of believe it, but
because they are,
this
so
is
they
like
are
the
made
only
aware.
reference that they make to it, isn't it?
Yep, exactly. They'll
Yeah.
do what they can. Peltac means bridge.
I love when he keeps snapping.
Yeah, I know the static.
Put this thing on.
Oh, that's funny.
So I was reading an article by a guy called Steve Eremo. I assume his surname is pronounced. So Michael Shanks in this article was reflecting on his directorial debut about 6 months after they wrapped up this episode. So he shared that he'd always been keen on directing, and he'd closely observed how Stargate was filmed and how directors managed their craft. So during his downtime, apparently he'd even hung out in the editing room to see how scenes were stitched together, and he felt like his transition into directing an episode was a natural step for him. And he described the episode storyline as ambitious, and he noted that it required one of the longest shoots in the first 4 seasons. So it was 10 days for principal photography instead of the usual 7.5.
Wow.
And the variety of interior locations, he said, was remarkable. And they utilized Stage 6 at Bridge Studios to construct what was then the largest and most costly set. And it seems like Michael didn't realize that he would be directing this specific episode until just before the initial script read through. So it came as it sounded like it came as kind of a surprise.
A nice surprise. He got given a big present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do find it alarming how Stargate is able to like turn around episodes in like a week, but given on the way they reuse sets and do everything, like no wonder they're able to get the filming done so well and so quickly. But I'm just thinking no, go.
No, you go.
Oh well, nowadays if we had like a 8 to 10 episode season, like most things are now, imagine what Stargate would be now. Like it wouldn't be the same fast turnaround.
Well, I assume they sort of bundled episodes together in terms of locations. Like, they probably did Prodigy in this episode, maybe like back to back.
Yeah, that's probably why they reused the locations.
Yeah.
For sure. Absolutely. Save money.
Oh, I love how he did the crossover shooting.
Yep.
Very cool guy. I'm not his bad knee.
Oh, gosh. Am I the only one who thinks that Kronos looks like Vigo the Carpathian?
He 100% looks like Vigo the Carpathian. You're absolutely correct.
Good job, team.
I want to watch Ghostbusters now.
Yep, absolutely. Nice and
He's
gooey.
just got some light seepage.
Just a flesh wound.
Oh, yeah,
Tis but a scratch.
A little
Your
gas.
arms off.
Yeah, gas.
I just imagine him just sitting there, like slowly, like farting out oil, you know, while everyone's around, and just like, what an unpleasant way to go. I'm not gonna lie, right? I really hate Cronus, so this is like such a fun episode for me.
He's a great bad guy.
Yeah, he sucks. Like the fact that I want to see him die this bad is like that's good job.
Yeah, come on, Tilk. We knew that wasn't going to happen easily.
Yep.
Yeah,
Guess it's worth a try.
always.
I don't know why he
he's gonna
throws
get
it
physical
down,
now.
though.
But he's gonna get physical now.
Yeah.
He's
I
like,
guess.
I'll use my fists.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like, yeah, of course that's not gonna properly work on Android Teal. He's just gonna like absolutely bunce him.
What does this mean?
Yeah, you're about to blow up.
Yeah, it means you're about to go boom boom.
Kind of wish she ran out of the room and lived, and like maybe she and Nirti like ran off and became new like scientific besties. You know? Do you feel like she and Nirti hung out when Nirti was a prisoner to crime?
I doubt it.
Maybe.
Would have been nice.
I'm wondering if that force field protected Sam as well.
She has minor injuries.
She has that big cut on her face, doesn't she?
Yeah, she has like some peeled, I guess, skin, for lack of a better
Rude.
term.
Man was about to get his revenge. I'm
I
not
know.
gonna
Yeah.
lie. The way that Android Teal like sacrifices himself is absolutely my favorite thing ever. The way he does it is 10 out of 10, and that is so very clearly not looking like Amanda tapping.
Yeah, she got hit.
I like the Teal's like, I know what's going on. Bye. He didn't even
Yeah.
say
It's
it.
just
He's like, I know.
superficial.
Jack hanging out with two Sams. Oh,
Yep.
he's living his dream.
Doesn't he say that like he wishes that there was two of them?
In
in
Gemini
the episode.
in season 8. Yeah. I've rewatched that moment a lot. What I love is that instead of killing him, Cronus is like, "No, I'm going to do this the proper way," and therefore like slows down like the
Yeah.
process. Like it could have been done and dusted and killed these guys way faster.
See,
But
why
no.
kill the android when you can kill the real thing?
Exactly
Yeah.
right.
And if only he just killed them. Oh god, fake
There's-
Amanda tapping is bothering me.
Fake Amanda. Fake Carter. I
Yeah.
guess fake Amanda tapping too.
God, just standing like her though. Is that actually her back there? And they're just like doing cool things with the camera.
Split screen?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, there was a really complicated thing in the Vampire Diaries where they had one actress playing 4 different characters, and like
my
in one
God.
scene she was there 3 times, and it was like
Oh, wow.
so the splitting of the screen was insane, and it was so much fun to watch, but an absolute nightmare filming this stuff.
So
You gotta-
symbiote crushing does seem to be Cronus's like signature move.
It's his
Exactly.
show, yeah.
Obviously, it's like the same brutal method he used on
On his
Tilk's
dad.
father years back.
Yeah.
Something that we saw in a glimpse in a flashback during Crossroads.
Yeah.
And I really think that his nickname should be the Symbiote Strangler.
Yeah.
It has a ring to it.
Like the Scranton Strangler.
Yeah,
but, like-
exactly.
It's funny.
So I will say, I'm not gonna lie, right? The other SG1 team are SG1 as far as I'm concerned, so I'm really sad to see them go.
Mhm.
But my favorite thing is when Android Teal'c is saving Teal'c's life, and then his last words are "for our father,"
Yep.
and he says "our" because it's
Yes.
their dad.
Yep,
Like Teal'c has respect
absolutely.
for like himself and his original.
Well,
Yep.
I was actually
Their
going
dad.
to ask, like, do you think OG Tilk will struggle with the fact that he didn't personally
Yeah, for a
avenge
little
his
while.
father by killing
I
Cronus?
suspect.
well,
Yep.
he
Ooh.
kind of
like,
did
it's
though because they're
significant.
both Teal'c. So
But it's a significant personal vendetta, and he sort of missed out on that direct retribution. So it might be kind
Correct.
of tough for him to reconcile with it.
Yep, because Teal
And-
kind of takes out Cronus, but kind of not.
Yeah,
but still him.
Well, it also kind of occurred to me that maybe that's why Android Tilk shot Cronus 3 times.
Well, he nods.
Like,
He
one
nods
for
a bit.
himself, one
Oh.
for like as a stand-in for OG Tilk, and one in
Yeah.
honor of their father.
he has that moment there where his head's kind of lolling down, and he's kind of lulling and going falling down, and his head kind of nods a little bit as like an acknowledgement of their moment. It's weird because Teal'c like doesn't have any siblings, but it's almost like it's like Teal'c and his brother just got their vengeance together. It's so interesting. It's such a good episode.
So the System Lords were already at a disadvantage with Apophyse's fleet outnumbering them more than 2-1, as we learned in the Serpent's Venom. So with Teal'c taking out Cronus, he's kind of tipped the scales even further into Apophyse's favor.
Honestly, yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. That's why Apophis becomes such a threat.
Lockward said, yeah, this is another planet who rebelled against Heru'ur.
Yeah.
Because we meet another planet in Memento, the Tagrians.
That's true.
Yeah.
He didn't have a lot of good luck.
No, and you know what? He sucked, and I'm glad he's dead, so...
Well, once Ra was gone, that part of the family tree just kind of began to fall apart, so...
Yeah.
So this episode really gives new meaning to the phrase personal sacrifice, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really wish that we could have kept alternate SG1. One of my favorite things about Stargate is when it does crazy stuff like this. But I kind of wish we didn't revisit them, because then I'd have this nice idea in my head of alternate SG1 out there just doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
But no, here they are. They're dead. But I'm glad we got closure, because we never get closure. So
That's true.
So RDA's acting here is very similar to the Blue Crystal Jack.
Yep.
Like he's talking the same.
Yep.
As he's dying.
And yeah, you're right. And the reaction when the orb inhabited him too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
it's weird staring your immortality in the face, you know, kind of like that's a line that Dr. Weir says in the episode where the older alternate version of her. What's the episode called?
Before I Sleep.
Atlantis. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of scary seeing yourselves like die. But you know what? Let's feel better knowing that there is a young, hot Jack out there somewhere. So,
yeah, his interview with Peter was great.
I love that.
Brought him on for a Peter DeLuise interview just yesterday. So
I saw that this morning. I love him a lot, and I loved him in Twilight.
Back and watch it.
This is a great admission.
Yeah.
They're not useless.
Yeah.
It's so mean the hate that Jack has for the android versions of them, because it's literally just them. They just got put into unfortunate circumstances.
Yep.
And it's like, it is just Jack. It's very sad. This episode's great. I love this episode. I'm having a good time.
It is a good time.
I'm sad we're not starting season 5 tonight. That's not how we do things.
Nope. And this is a 3-sided pyramid ship landing on a 4-sided pyramid.
Yes, I read that the VFX team had to get creative in the final shot. And the Juna pyramid is 4-sided, while the Hatak mothership has 3 sides, unlike Ra's ship in the original movie. So they had to deploy some visual tricks to pull it off. So I was going to say that the android storyline is actually continued in the Stargate SG1 novel Hydra, where a rogue NID faction crafts new android duplicates of SG1 dubbed Theta SG1. And these are sort of like dark, twisted versions, and they're infused with Goa'uld programming from Junior, making them ruthless and solely focused on their own survival.
That actually sounds really cool.
That sounds really fun. The more menacing and evil something becomes, the more into it I am. I'm just like, oh yeah, gimme. Terrible. This episode's really good, guys. I'm like super excited to eat this up in the next 10 seconds when the credits roll.
Double Jeopardy, everyone. Thanks for joining us.